Good morning.
How about you?
Let's see here. How you doing? You doing all right? Uh-oh. Testing. That's working.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. I got to go over and you guys can hear that okay, right?
You seem good on this end.
Oh, cool. Good. Okay. I'm just going to change something on this end real quick. Hear it a little better that way. All right, Chris. We got audio?
Yes.
Cool.
I don't know who it is because it's from a Facebook group and I can't see the name, but somebody is so excited they're not even going to wear pants for this.
Oh, God. Me neither. Yeah, sounds like Willie Laura.
It does seem like it, either that or someone similar, right?
Right, yeah. I wonder if he's got syphilis. Here we go. Good. Good.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I think it might be Billy.
Oh, that would be a second guess. Good morning, Renny Doyle podcast. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm gonna put
you're
you in.
You're getting skinnier every time we get on here. Every week you can see a difference.
Yeah, I see it and I feel it, but then I also don't see it and don't feel it. It's weird.
No, you can see it in your face. It's pretty cool.
So, but I'm down at least 32 pounds now.
Wow.
So
good for you. Good for you. Yeah, it's not easy, but it's a good program. Glad you did it. And
no, it's not. You know what I like about it though is as much as every once in a while I want to eat some junk and just kind of pig out on something. I like how I don't have to think too hard about what I'm going to have for breakfast or lunch because I'm really not having that much of anything.
No, right. Yeah, it's pretty limited, right? So,
Yep.
Hey, really cool podcast. This is actually something that the topic you came up with. We talk about it a lot is about making deposits. And a lot of people think about withdrawing out of their communities and their industry and, what's in it for me and all these mentalities. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And then we are October is one of the months that we have double trainings, and all of our groups are great. We had a great one 2 weeks ago, right? We were here, and then we've got a great one right now. And so I'm gonna have these gents jump up, come behind me real quick, and just introduce yourself real quick. You guys can come either direction. We're having a lot of fun and some cool pros. So we'll just come in and say, here, I'll get out of your guys' way, and just one at a time, just say your name and get in here. You guys gotta act
yeah,
like you like
come
each
on,
other.
get up real close. Don't be shy. The camera's not going to bite you.
Okay, there we go. Okay, we'll start right there. And you know what? You're the one that keeps saying that everybody is help. You can't keep your hands to yourself. So I don't want to hear that anymore. You perv. Okay, so let's start right here. We'll work our way around. Say your name, where you're from.
I'm Daniel. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
I'm Travis. I'm from Lansing, Michigan.
I'm Efren from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Colby, Butte, Montana.
Jesus, Tri-Cities, Washington.
There you go. All right. Thanks, guys. So it's really cool. It's cool to get to know people where they're at in their businesses. And in the Albuquerque, too, they didn't know each other before this. So it's kind of cool that they're here together. And we've got a lot of mafia that is joint efforts in markets. So I think you guys are it's not gonna hurt you. It's gonna help you. So let's jump in this. We've said this for years. I've talked about it I've given keynotes address on it. Is everybody, when you've got a freshman mentality in business or life for that matter, because we're going to go some life points, it's what's in it for me? Give me, take. And that's only going to get you so far. And even in a relationship, is if you're in a relationship, whether it be a love relationship, a working relationship, a business relationship, is that I hear people say it all the time is, hey, man, you got to beat me 50-50. No way. 50-50 is never cut it. You got to be 100%. And when you're not 100% dedicated to something jointly, whether it be with you and a staff member, you and a spouse, you and one of your kids, if it's unbalanced, it's going to be uncomfortable, and the wrinkle's going to get ironed out one way or the other, and sometimes it's not going to be pleasant for one party. I've seen in my life that when things are unbalanced, and you've got one person giving 100% and somebody else not, is that in the beginning, the person giving 100% is hurt. In the long run, the person that gave very little or less, they pay the price. They pay the big price for what that's worth. Now, relationships are everything. It's like we spoke of it. It's family, people you love, parents, siblings, cousins, good friends, close, friends. But it's also industry. It's peers, of people that work around you. It's mirroring industry. So maybe you work with PPF, maybe you work with dealerships. It's all those things are part of this. And so we're going to jump into it a little bit now. What's in it for me? We hear that. I'll give an illustration for that. We hear it in our group, in our very own group. Hey, man, I'm not getting enough out. Then you're not putting enough in. Simple as that. Now, there are people that just get busy, right? You have children, and it cracks me. I hate that word. I hate the word busy. Just to me, it's an excuse, and I use it all the time, and I can't stand it. But when somebody says, listen, I'm just too busy to partake, well, you should try to run the group and partake. Because if you think you're too busy just being in the group, is try to be, because you don't have, your schedule is probably tight. You're busy with kids. You don't understand. Yeah, I do. I had 4. The last one just graduated. What else are you busy with? Oh, the sports. Really? Oh, business. Okay, yeah, I own 3. What else? Well, life. Okay. You part of the Guard? I am. Do any search and rescue? I do. Do you speak at events? I do. So you want to compare busy? I'll gladly compare busy with you. It's not busy, it's priority. Comes down to that. And not only is it a priority, and I'm talking in general, is that if you're with the IDA, if you're the Chamber of Commerce, if you're the Detail Mafia, if you're involved in any group whatsoever, is that it's going to come down to this. It's not if you're too busy, is your own success a priority. And when I hear people saying, hey, I went to the chamber meeting, not that great. You went to one. Why don't you dedicate yourself and say, okay, hey, here's the thing. I went there, wasn't overly impressed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my personality and my business to it, and I'm going to give it 2 years. I'm going to see if I can't rebuild it. I'm going to see if I can't be a part of it. That's a giving. That's a giving. You're going to take and make deposits to that. What's going to come back to you is going to be tenfold. And so you've got to look at that. So this whole what's in it for me attitude, very freshman attitude. It also shows absolutely. Skip the shit
I want
out
to throw something in there, a little clarification too. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to jump in and like literally give, like literally start running things and contributing, although that's a big part of it and that's certainly going to help. Just showing up, just being an active member of whatever group it is, whatever industry it is, whatever that is, just showing up and participating and also partaking in what's being offered to you goes a long way, because the more bodies that are participating, the better things are going to go, the more things are going to get built up. And same goes with, showing up, because the people that are doing the work, that are trying hard to provide something for you, whether or not you're really getting all the value you need out of it or not, it goes a long way in making them feel good about wanting to continue what they're doing when other people show up and partake.
Absolutely. The other thing is that, at some point in your life, you say, oh, I'm giving money, I'm giving this, I'm giving my time to an organization. My military team's a great example. Is when I transferred over there a little over a year ago, it was a pretty mellow team. That's what I liked about it, right? All of a sudden now it's gone a little more, I won't call it high speed, but it's got a little more active, and we got a lot more eyes on us, and we got a little more demands on us. And we've got we got leadership, right? And I'm part of that leadership, but we've got the general service members in there. And I'm telling you, these men and women stepping up and helping it really makes a huge difference, because all they did is give an extra 10%, but collectively that took probably 40% of the load I had on me off. I mean, I took a huge chunk of work off of me, of being able to delegate and them engaging in it at a very high level. So that's a great point, is that, it takes a village. That old saying, it takes a village, is that when you go into an organization and you give your money over, and I'm speaking of IDA, many things, Chamber of Commerce, the Rotary Club. When I see joining an organization, my outlook of this, and I've done this my whole life, is whether it be a search and rescue team, the military, whatever it is, I say, wow, I look at the fun factor. I'm a fun factor person. Okay, what fun is this going to turn into? Okay, now there's going to be a little bit of ugliness in this to get to the fun factor, right? I'm going to have to do some lifting. I'm going to have to do some things. But what can we have fun? Also, what am I going to get out of it? But what am I going to be able to put into it? And so I want to make this organization better with my presence, with my knowledge, with my know-how. I'm going to sit back and learn what the ropes are, but where's my opportunity to share? And then in turn, where's my opportunity to gain? And so it's not just a one-way street when you're jumping into things. And I'm telling you, your own business is part of it. Is that I look at people and I hear them and they don't want to help themselves. Listen, man, you got to put some skin into it. You got to get bruised up. You got to get some scabs. Because if you're not willing to put that in, why are you asking somebody else to? And so it's really all those deposits. Well, what happens? A lot of people, let's be honest, most businesses fail. Majority of business. We've got a very high, the businesses we are around, they've got a very high success rate compared to the average in America, right? And it's birds of a feather. We all come from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different faiths, different countries, all these different things, but we're united. And some at different levels. Some are more engaged right now because they're newer in it. Some are a little less engaged because they've been around for a couple decades. But I'm going to tell you this, is that if you need a deposit made and you ask for a little withdrawal from somebody with a lot of experience, most of the time, they're going to give you some freaking gold dust or gold nuggets, you know? And so that's how you've got to look at these things. So what's in it for me? The mentality just doesn't work. Never will, never has, never going to, just not going to. In order to find success in life, you've got to have significant steps to make significant impacts. Is that I've got a young man in front of me right now who's involved in real estate. Remember your first property you ever bought? Mm-hmm. Will you ever forget that property?
Nope.
Never. It set a seed. And how many years ago is that?
I bought it when I was 18. So.
Bought it when you were 18.
Yeah.
And so, and you're what? You're 20. You're 21 now, right?
Yeah.
Is that it? But it started something, right? It started a passion. It started burning in the oven, so to say. And when those burns start, boy, I'll tell you what. If you keep feeding it, is that it just keeps getting better and better. And so you make those early investments in time, knowledge, know-how, friendships, relationships. When you come into something, whether it be a group or a new business, is you've got to be, listen, this was a real hard one for me to learn. And it still is across the board, whether it be in my businesses, whether it be in the military search and rescue team, is that it's really hard to find people that are going to match my energy. And so what I did is the people closest to me, Chris does, match my energy. Most of the mafia matches my energy. Most of the military matches my energy, but not everybody. And I've stopped expecting everybody to do it. Is that I've just realized that a lot of people just don't have that fire in their belly. And it's okay. I just have to distance myself from that a little bit. Doesn't mean that I'm not close to them. Doesn't mean that I don't like them or respect them, but they just don't have that matched energy. They're not going to put those deposits in that I expect other people to put deposits into. Once I opened my eyes up and said, I can't take and change that person. That person's energy level, they've only got so many horsepower in the engine. And they can't. Now, other people have more horsepower than me. The problem is they're a dragster. Is they just freaking full throttle, quarter mile, and they're done. Engine's blown. Okay, so you've got to look at the energy you're putting out, the deposits you're putting out. Is there's times you want to be that dragster, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's just like your real estate, your military career, 20 years, right? Is that what would have happened if you saw it in the military? You saw people that are dragsters. They come in gung ho. They're going to take and they come in as an E2, E3, and they're going to be freaking Navy SEAL. And the next thing you know, they go hard, and then they're burning out, and they have substance issues, and they just spent everything right up front, and it all went away. We've all seen that in every aspect of life. And so, sure, when you're a new person, in an industry or in a group, is that I tell people, I'll tell you, when I started riding horses again, I started riding horses. First time I got there, she goes, well, let's do some groundwork. I said, okay, let's do some groundwork. So I got the horse kind of warmed up, and I said, okay, I'm ready to ride. And she goes, you want to learn some stuff? And I said, yeah, on his back. I want to be on. Let's start right now. I want to hold back. Now there's times I have to come backwards and learn different things on the ground with him. Right. And I found out now that this is a cool analogy, and this isn't written down. There's things I found out about in my business. When I started this out, and I'm going to do it, I took some stuff out of here because it's a whole nother podcast. When I started this out, it wasn't for the reason a lot of people think. A lot of people, when I jumped back into detailing, this is my second time into the detailing industry, is when I jumped back in, it wasn't for what people thought. What I got out of it, I never dreamed of. And it's you guys. It's the friendships I made, lifetime friends, people that I absolutely adore that came into my life because of this. We're talking about that last night. Mm-hmm. Some other things that happened from that was that it really, I thought I was a pretty smart guy. And I realized real quickly, I'm not, and so it's really taking me back when I meet people in this industry that I like to be at the table where there's at least half the people at that table are smarter than me, because I want to learn from them. And then the other half, I want to observe them learning, and I want to be able to share with them. That I never thought this industry would humble me. I never thought this industry I'd meet lifetime friends. I never thought this industry would allow me to invest like I have. It went so much deeper than I thought, but I went deeper. I put a lot of deposits in, still do. It never stops. The deposits never stop. I always try, and this is a key thing, I always try to take and put more in than I take out. And that's especially true with your financials, is, live a much simpler life. I got a note from our bookkeeper last night, and I told her about some changes we made. We're kind of depending what could be happening with the economy, what's happening and what could be happening. And she came back to me and she goes, that's brilliant thinking. She goes, I'm not even quite there yet. So she goes, I'm going to readjust my life a little bit just off that statement. How cool is that? Is that I wasn't that mature before I met all of you and people in the industry. It's really given me a gift by giving gifts. And I don't like to take things, and the more success I have, the more I want to give. We did disc evaluations, and it was pretty cool, is that you really can't, if you're truthful with saying, I'm sure you could deceive it, right? But you'd have to be completely dishonest about yourself when you're taking this evaluation. And one of the things that came of that is I like to succeed. I like progress. I like to move ahead. But the next score down was I like to do it with other people right next to me. I like to take people on the journey, and I like to go on the journey. And it was pretty cool to see that. So get to the point that where you can provide contributions to your industry, to your group, you might be part of a leads group back at home. You might be part of the chamber, the Rotary. When those first opening moments of membership is take it all in. But also don't be afraid to let people know what you do. Don't be afraid to speak when it's appropriate. Don't be afraid to show people that you've got a big heart. Don't be afraid to jump in right away and start donating some time and putting some deposits in. You've got value. You're in your 20s. I will take something away from you this week that I will apply to my life. I will. It's not if, I will. Everybody's got something to offer.
Some of us feel that kind of imposter syndrome occasionally, right? So we might be new to an industry or new to a group in the industry, and we don't feel like we're ready to make that contribution yet. And that's okay, but don't let that hold you back forever. Make it a goal to get to a point to where you can start making those contributions. Everybody, when they're new at something, they're going to need to take more at first than they're going to be able to give. But at some point, you got to start making that transition.
That is an awesome point. And so so this weekend I was out working my horse. I did groundwork one whole day, not a whole day, but several hours with him, right? I'm just working him on the ground, not riding him, I'm working him. And there's these two people out there, and they've been out there a long time. They're both serious horse people, right? And so after I'm done, the guy comes up, and he loves Rip. He loves my horse. He comes up and he goes, "How did you get him to do that?" And I said, "What?" And he goes, "Well, his responses to you. He knows when you take I watched you take a step back, and he wouldn't do anything. But when you took 2 to 3 steps back, he was coming right on you. And then when you turned around, he'd go to your left every single time." And I was like, well, I slowly trained him of doing this groundwork, of that's what I wanted. And I said, now he just is on automatic. He'll come right up to me. I turn around, I walk, he gets to my left. And Chris, to your point, when he asked me, this is somebody that a year ago that I was bowing to, I was like, whoa, this dude and her are like badasses, right? And when he walked away, I was like, and I looked at my horse and I was like, do you do that? Are we cool? Like, are we that good? And I did feel like a little bit, I felt weird answering that question because he's the pro, right? I'm the novice. But I had figured something out with my horse that I guess isn't, I don't think it's that weird, but it's a little bit unique, and they all know I just started working with them a year ago, that we're kind of new with one another. And Chris, I did feel that imposter. I felt like, why is he asking me that? I shouldn't be answering this. He should already know And, you know, I mean, at first I felt like I was getting set up, like, I did something wrong. And this guy's going to correct me. And it wasn't. I arrived to a spot to where he admired something I did. And that was it was the first time in my horsemanship career that I felt, hey, you know what? I've kind of arrived a little bit. I've done something positive and it felt good. So that's a great point, Chris, is always get to a point to where when you see where you can bring value, add that value. Don't be afraid to Chris's point. Don't be afraid to add that value to it. So many times we're wallflowers, you know, and we're be a little shy. I always tell people in business, you've got to get over your shyness. You know, I really want to go back next month and start going back to Toastmasters. If you've never heard of Toastmasters, it's an incredible group. They're worldwide, and they help you present and speak better. And I started out when I was really young. I got our kids involved in it when they were young. Our middle daughter, I think she got a full ride Air Force scholarship, full ride. She came in second place in a speaking contest for California, all of California. She was a runner-up. She was really mad because she didn't win. Is that in the finals, all the way through, you could not have notes. And in the final, they let you have a index card, and she didn't know that. And so she worked off of 100%. So I thought she should have won, but that's just me. So is when you receive blessings and opportunities, give blessing and opportunities. So here's what I'm going to share with you right now. Give 100% to your relationships. Every relationship you have, give 100% to your community. You're taking from that community. You're making a living from that community. You're investing because of that community. You're a part of that community. Figure out ways. There's so many cool ways that you can support that community, and really nobody needs to know about it. This is about your internal heart. This is about you feeling good about it. You know, we've got one gentleman, and I won't say his name because I don't know if he'll like it or not, Anthony, is that he loves Star Wars, and I love Star Wars. And he's got Star Wars costumes, and they go to the local kids' hospitals, and they go in character with their Star Wars costumes and do visits in the hospitals. What a great way to take in and give back something that you're passionate about. You know, is I just, you know, I'm not built as a stormtrooper, you know, so I don't think I'm too, you know, I don't think they make stormtroopers of my size. I'm too short to be Darth Vader, so I'm kind of, I don't know, Chewbacca. I mean,
yeah, you're not tall enough for Chewbacca either.
No, I was going to say R2D2. Oh, R2D2. I like that. There you go. I
don't know. I was thinking. I can't remember what they're called, but you know, Jabba the Hutt had these guards, these little green guys.
Outfit. Yeah, there you go. I like that. Well, I could be. This is a really bad. You can't say the M word anymore, so I'll call it a little people version of Chewbacca, you know, or something like that, you know. So get back to your industry. You know, start with local. You know, start with local. These guys right now, for those that don't know, they're taking their IDA test certifications right now. I pulled them off. They're going to go back and finish. They don't have much longer. But be a motivation locally, you know, to for other people in the industry to do the same thing. Is that raise the bar? Is give your clients. You know, somebody's doing a hardship. You know, something's going on in their lives. Give something to them. You know, we had one person in our industry that's a really good friend of our group that's now going to be in our group that based down in Florida, and he went and an elderly lady just needed coffee. She hadn't had coffee, and he went and took her coffee, but he hung out with her and just visited because she hadn't visited with anybody in days. So he just sat there, and it's pretty cool. You know, it's pretty cool. You know, give back to your employees. Is that I've got a mentality with my employees is that, you know, we're going to try to carve them into lifetime staff, but the reality is probably not. Is that's good. The good people that care and they are 100% dedicated is set them up to leave. Set them up to where when they go get a better job, that it's a substantial step up. Set them up to be entrepreneurs if they want to be entrepreneurs. You know, is we have somebody in our group that one of their employees came to him and said, I really want to go into business. I want to start a detailing business. And instead of getting all huffy, he goes, well, where do you want to go? And it turns out, at first you might have puffed up, and cobraed up and said, hold on. You want to go into business again. Wasn't even in the state. You wanted to relocate and start out of state. So he's helping that individual set the roadmap out to do exactly that. That's what you want to do. Is you don't want to be a caged bird. So why are you going to cage somebody? You didn't want a boss is that was striking you down and keeping you down. Is we all, I think, have a time in our life where I've got a couple people I worked for that changed my life. Yeah, they were my boss. Yeah, they got on me. Yeah, they wanted me to work hard, but they gave me opportunity to learn. They didn't take and slow down that ability. And when I showed so much heart and so much interest, they would send me to specialized trainings. They would send me to different things. They would invest in me. They'd give me promotions. They'd put me in charge of projects. It's the same with military. Is you've had great leaders and you've had horrible leaders. I went through one period where 3 years, nothing on promotions for any of us. They just didn't give a shit. They didn't care if anybody promoted up or not. And in the military, really, what is there? Why do you do what you do? Napoleon said it best. A man will give his heart in his life for a small piece of it. Is we want acknowledgement, serve. There's pride, but we also want to take and get recognized and promoted and have more opportunities. And so I take that as again, a piece of ribbon. Give is when you see a soldier and they've got all these different, some of them are earned, some of them not, some are given, some of them, they did amazing things to earn that. What pieces of ribbon are you giving your staff? Ask yourself that. What are you connecting with and what are you giving your staff? What pieces of ribbon are you giving your clients? What pieces of ribbon are you giving your community? What are you giving back to them as recognition and thanks for what you've got out of that? Because you're getting something out of it. Listen, your staff, everybody around you wants to take and do the same thing you. If you've got children, you've got to clothe them. You got to support them. You got to feed them. You got to entertain them. They want to play sports just like your kids do. They want to take and go to ballet just like your kids do. I would rather have one staff member that I can treat right and earn off of and give them a good wage than 3 that I can't give the appropriate opportunity to. Just me. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to get more out of that 1 than you would the 3. You're going to get a lot more out. Probably going to change your business. So you've got to, and this is one of the biggest things, you've got to give to yourself, is we as entrepreneurs so many times is that we give. And we actually wear the brakes down to where they're just putting grooves in. There is no brake pad left. Rotors are twisted up, they're warped, they're burnt, they're grooved. But yet we've given good, healthy brakes for other people, but not for ourselves. Is create value. Make a deposit of creating value in yourself. How's this about making deposits? Is your knowledge and information should be shared with your community. You should be a local influencer. If it turns into more and you become state and national and international, good. I definitely didn't plan on being anywhere close to where I was. I didn't really care. Forums were out there. I was a latecomer to forums. You know why? I was putting deposits in my own community. And I was putting bank deposits in my account, something that detailers at that time weren't doing much of. And so I concentrated.
I was going to jump in real quick. I was talking to Oscar Hernandez yesterday, and we were talking about how one of his, I guess you call it friends or colleagues in his local chamber came up to him and recently said, I love how you participate with us and you don't push your business on us and you don't try and, sell yourself to us. He's like, he shows up, he participates, he gives back by participating and by donating his time. And as a result, the business does come to him, right? It comes to him without him having to ask for it, and it comes with him without him having to sell it.
Absolutely.
And it's because of that example of the service that he's giving back.
An extension of that, I love what Oscar's done. He's taken to what I did when I was newer in business and just put it on steroids, right? He did that well before I even met him. And so he had insight on that, came out of the Marine Corps, career Marine. But the thing I used to go in and you go to chamber meetings, right? And there's wallflowers. There's people sitting off the side. There's the people that know each other. Some would call those cliques. I don't. There's the people that have really dedicated themselves. They've taken the time to know each other. So what I would do is I'd always pick up some finger food, one piece of finger food, and I'd put it in my left hand, and I'd go and I'd introduce myself to somebody new, find out what they did. If they asked, I'd share what I did. And then as soon as I was done with that finger food, that would be, oh, hey man, nice meeting you. That would be my opportunity to break, go get another piece of finger food and go do the same thing with another person. Then go get another piece of finger food and do it with another person. I'd work the whole room. My goal was I was going to bring you through 3 new clients to your business. That was my goal. Now, my expectation is over time, you're going to bring me 3 new clients to mine too. But I wasn't worried about what you were going to do. I was worried about finding new business. Now, if you didn't put any effort into mine, I didn't put any effort into yours anymore. I stopped. I'd go to the people that were giving me that matched energy. But I worked the room with zero expectations of what I was going to get out of it. I worked the room with the idea of what could I give you? Which one of my clients? I know my clients really well. So if we walked in and you're an AMP, you worked on airplanes. I know which one of my clients is having a hard time with their mechanic. What am I going to do? I'm going to say, hey man, I just met this new young guy. Let me give you his card. He seemed like a really good guy. See where I'm going on this? And I would turn business over to you. Most people, again, people of this mindset that we're talking about right now are going to turn that around. You're going to take and get that person and say, wow, Renny, he details airplanes. All of a sudden, you're going to be saying, hey, man, if this thing, I saw how dirty your belly is. You need to get it clean. There's a really good guy. Renny, the detailer here, is good. They're going to pay that back. They're going to put deposits back into you. And if they don't, they're a freshman. I don't want anything to do with them. I don't want anything to do with freshmen unless they're a freshman that's ready to grow. And let me tell you, I know 29-year-olds that are doing it like 60-year-olds. They're killing it. And I know 60-year-olds that doing it like 14-year-olds. Okay. So age has I used to get that all the time when I was young and you're an entrepreneur, is that when you're young, you saw it as an NCO, right? As a young NCO. Some of the chiefs, you think, who the hell puts your boots on in the morning? Who ties your shoes? More or less, I mean, right? But it's few and far between. The good ones, the good energy came back to you. And so here's the gifts that I've given myself over the years and the gifts I've seen other people, especially right now, I can name a lot of people that are right here, is I've got my old saying, dream, vision, plan, execute. I've used that since I was a teenager. Dream, vision, plan, execute. The thing that we do, I had a man sitting in the same seat as you 2 weeks ago, and he said an amazing thing. I want to meet his dad so badly. His dad's always taught him, the second you let the little boy in you die, you're done. You've got to keep that youthful, playful attitude your entire life. And I think that's so important is if you're listening to this and you're young, don't let yourself mature past the point to where you don't have any fun anymore. Your children are going to love it too when you're a kid with them. If you're older and you're listening to this and you're grumpy and you're stuck in your ways, is go back to that 10-year-old you, pull that 10-year-old up and go back to that person, become that 10-year-old. You're going to be a hell of a lot happier. So that dreaming goes back to, and it's pretty cool. I swear to you, yesterday morning I had something pop up before I came out, to work with you guys. And I was in the shower and all of a sudden I said, hold on, what would the 10-year-old me say about this? And that idea I just had was gone. No. Yeah, no. Boy, you're an early developer, you know. And so, what it did is it immediately, it was an idea that was gonna take and tie up my hands a little bit time wise, and it was gonna take focus away from my life, and I'm not sure it was gonna be fun, and I just said nah, right then and there. But I'm not shitting you right now. I said that. What would the 10-year-old me say about this idea I just had? And they said, man, blow that up. That looks awful. That doesn't look fun at all. Right. So I got it out. Smart health decisions is that, I wish going back, this thyroid problem I have probably could have been taken care of, nipped in the butt. I didn't have time to pay attention to what was going on with my body. Am I ever going to get it back? I don't know. I'm okay if I don't. Could have bigger problems. Could have bigger problems. A friend of mine just had his completely yanked. So hey, man, bigger problems. Me time, eating better, mental health, working out, all those things, guys, gentlemen, and this goes for the ladies too, but it's 1 hour. 1 hour a day. Okay, you've got 24 freaking hours. You got 24 hours. Give yourself the gift of you and exercise. I went on yesterday. I was here. How many hours were we here yesterday? About 12 hours. I took my dog on 4 walks. How the hell did I do that? I took him on 2 before you got here. I took him 2 after you left. Okay, 4 walks. Not very far, but I did like between here and those walks, I did 7 miles yesterday. Okay. I got in here and lifted. Didn't today. Took the day off today. Didn't lift today. But I lifted Monday. I lifted Tuesday. I'll lift tomorrow. I'll lift Friday. And you've got to do that. Eating better. Don't pork out. It's okay to cheat every once in a while, but dump the fast food. You guys are out and you're moving fast, right? Don't look at the appearance the change is going to make an appearance. Look at the change it's going to be in what you don't see. You want to see. When I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I don't think I'd ever heard of a diabetic. You know why? Most of us didn't eat shit. I certainly didn't. I mean, McDonald's was a treat we got like maybe on your birthday. Maybe. And so we didn't eat fast food. We knew what it was. It was over there. Wow. Couldn't afford it. Right? We ate at home. We didn't eat the best food. I didn't eat shit. We just didn't have a lot of money for a lot of stuff. But I still lived in an area to where all summer long we had oranges, apricots. I ate all I wanted. We don't live in that world, but you can create that world for yourself. Lower your stress. Get rid of the stress. Doing what I just pointed out. Getting a little you time. Taking the dog out for a walk. Walking by yourself. Go for a little hike. Doesn't take much. You can leave your house. I don't care if you live right in the middle of the city. Leave your house, go, and come back. Get out there. Don't take your phone with you. Leave your phone at home. Nothing in that 1 hour is going to be so pressing they need you, And so every time I take my dog out is for a walk. I don't have the phone with me. I just leave it at home. And it's funny because him and I have some really funny conversations. And then glass half full. What's that mean? That means the way you look at things, if you're a negative Nancy, you're going to be a negative Nancy. Negative shit's going to happen to you. Okay? Is that I see something in you that I want you to get gone. You're limiting yourself. You are a great young man. You just don't see just how great. I know you see you're great. You don't see how great you are. And before you leave Friday, I'm determined to make sure that you don't see that anymore. That you see how powerful you are and what's in store and how you're going to change lives, and namely your dad's life. Okay? Is I just feel it in you and I feel it in me. Felt it from the beginning. Is I want you to see something that you don't see. That when you came in here Monday, my goal is by Friday, you see something you had no idea. No idea. I want to turn around in a year. I want to see you doing amazing things because you're totally capable. Totally capable. And I know you are, but I don't think how deep you are. Does that make sense? And why? Because maybe a little me was you at one time. Maybe a little me, to be honest. So money's never a guarantee. If you do things strictly for money, And I've done things strictly for money a few times in my life, a handful of times. I hated it. Turned out really bad. Just not real bad, but it just wasn't fulfilling, at all. Is that when you do things and you start making deposits and you start taking and changing your own life, one-man operation, right? Is that Doug Parfett, good friend of mine, one-man operation. I can't tell you how much he's changed my life. Can't tell you. Can't count the ways. Harry, that you guys met the other night, a little bigger operation. Can't tell you how he's changed my life. Chris, can't tell you how he's changed my life. I can keep going on, and there's 100 people I can mention right now on how they've changed my life. So now you need to be that change in other people's lives, but you got to meet that change in your own. All right, Chris. Well, there's the business side. Thank you. Once again, thanks P&S, Team Double Black, for backing us up. Like this, subscribe to it, share it. We love to hear if we got one little morsel out of that. Do me a favor. This makes a huge difference to Chris and I. If something really stood out in this, email me and tell me what it was. I love to hear that we've made an impact.
And same goes with any potential topics as well. So by the way, go ahead.
We get our energy from you guys.
Yep. For
coffee.
For and coffee. We had a comment on here from John up in the in Northern California that came to training last time. He misses your coffee maker. So
yeah. Well, John, get your booty back down here, man. It's funny. Diane and I we were just talking about the last group, and the last two groups. All the groups are so good, but it was just so cool to see men and women come together that didn't know each other, and now see them chatting and pushing each other on, and it's just so freaking cool. And John, your name came up, and so I love your spirit. And you'll have to come back down and get a coffee. We're down. Hey, the cost per coffee is coming down. I think we're down to like $42 a coffee. So there's a story behind this. You know what? You're here. We'll have to do a little reels and share the coffee maker, and I'll share the story on the coffee maker. Our accountant kind of threw a fit. It's a nice coffee maker. It makes really good coffee.
That's funny.
I might have went a little overboard, but is it worth it?
I got a little surprise for people that listen to this recorded. They listen to the audio version or the YouTube recording later. I had a professional intro and outro recorded. It's a surprise for you too. So
wow. Cool.
Yeah, I went on to Fiverr and I found a good voiceover guy, and so it's gonna sound all super professional and everything.
Oh damn! Wow, that's pretty cool. You're all fancy. Look at you. Hey, we got some cool things coming up. So we got SEMA, right? So we've got SEMA starting 2 weeks from right now. 2 weeks from tonight is our party. And we've already got over 500 people RSVP'd.
That's right.
Over 500.
It's going to be cool. We have some great sponsors for that too. Start shouting them out pretty soon. But our top presenting sponsors are, of course, P&S Double Black, the Rag Company, IGL Coatings, You're Able, and Buff and Shine. Man, so those guys really stepped up to help make this a cool party. And I've got other sponsors as well. I'm leaving out a bunch.
And this is what's really cool is my dad's going to be there. He's never been to one of my industry events. He's never been to my house. And he just came to one of my house. He's never been to anywhere I lived. And he just came here a few weeks ago. It's pretty cool. But he's going to be at the party. Now him and my brother like to party it up a little bit. So just know, apple tree is not the case. I'm more of a pear, but no, they're going to have a good time. It's going to be so many good people are going to be there. We got a couple friends of ours are going to be in town. They're going to come. And it's just a good opportunity to meet for, really just to relax and have a good time, have a cigar. I think I'm going to get some cool cigars. So if you're a cigar person, try to find me at the party and we'll light up. I would say Toca, but that, California, I don't even know if it's legal in Nevada. I guess it is, isn't it? Oh yeah. Yeah. And so with that, and then we've got a cool event. coming up, it's the launch of it on December 17th. I'm going to be up at PNS headquarters, and we're going to do the launch of a new program we're going to do called Coffee, Coatings, and Profits. And what we're doing is we're coming together. It starts at 7:30 to 8, a social hour. We're going to have serve coffee and donuts and just kind of socialize. And then between 8 and 10, we're just going to talk shop on how to make more money out of coatings and how to offer summer and winter coatings. Is that something new that we're just starting to really push is summer and winter coatings. And so we're going to talk about those things on December 17th up at the PNS headquarters. And then our Christmas dinner with detailers is at Uber Detailing here in Southern California. What's the date on that one, Chris?
That one I don't have in my head. I'm looking if you give me just a second.
We got those are coming events, and then we got another coffee, coatings, and profits here in Southern California in January. And so we're going to start taking that when I'm out of state somewhere. We'll do it there on a Saturday. So we're going to start trying to do those probably 4 to 6 times a year. Maybe what we'll do is try to go live on some of them, and kind of telecast out so people can see them. It's a free event. All you have to do is RSVP, and we're not charging for it. And it'll be a good opportunity to take and come together. And just really, it's about, my idea was it was before COVID, is that we're going out and doing these events. And it's really, again, making deposits. It's exactly that. It's about making deposits in you guys in the industry coming together and kind of strategy as an entire group while we're there. It's not just about me lecturing. It's about opening conversations up and kind of moving the field goal a little bit on what coatings are. Everybody kind of has got them locked in, and there's so many. We came up with a good idea here, didn't we? Just yesterday on winter and summer coatings, and so we're going to run with that. That's going to be part of it. We're really excited. Date on the dinner with the Christmas dinner with detailers.
It is going to be Monday, December 19th at Uber Detail in Corona. Yep. Yeah. Regarding that event, we don't have any registration set up for it yet. So just kind of a save the date. You will definitely see that on our social media. Regarding the PNS Coffee, Coatings, and Profits. Again, that's on December 17th at PNS headquarters. Right now, you'll see more on our social media. Right now, if you check our stories on our Instagram, you will see something about it. And the link in bio on our Instagram will take you right to a registration page for it.
Cool. Well, hey, this was fun. I got to get these guys back to work. Chris, we'll see you this afternoon or this evening.
Yeah, I got about an hour's of work to do before I head up, but I'll be there.
Sounds good. Hey, try not to have anything hit your car.
I'll try.
Yeah. Last time he's coming up. What hit your car last time? Something it put a little mark.
I have no idea, but it took some pain off and left a little dent for me. But whatever it was loud. I saw it out of the corner of my eyes from like 2 lanes over and just hit right in the side of the car.
Damn, that's it. All right. Hey, guys, have a good one. Chris, we'll see you later. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope this was good. Let us know. We'd like to hear from you guys. We'll see you.
All right. See you guys.